We are just starting our unit on metrics and the differences and conversions between metrics and standards. And so for this first lesson, we're going to focus on length. So before we get into this, I just want to see what you guys know. So in your head, for each one of these, I want you to think about which one is bigger or longer. So on your paper, on the very top, it has all these choices. So I want you to go ahead and circle the ones that you think are longer. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to go through on your paper, circle the ones you think are longer. So the first one we're going to look at is a mile and a kilometer. We're very used to using miles as, we're in a car or something. So a kilometer is a little over a half a mile. You can see to the right the measurement. So the bottom one is a kilometer, the black, and the top one is a mile. So it's a little over a half of a mile. So that's why a 5K is 3.1 miles. Now, a meter and a yardstick are also very close. So it's about a 3-inch difference. So a meter is about 3 inches longer than a yard. And the last one, so an inch is significantly longer than a centimeter. So it's about 2.5 centimeters for every inch. So again, this is just seeing what you know. If you did well, great. If not, well, you're going to be able to learn. All right, so the base unit for all of metric lengths is meters. So we represent that by M. And so make sure when you're doing units, you know exactly which unit you're putting on the end. And so it's pretty interesting how this was determined. So long ago, they determined that light in an absolute vacuum would travel that big number in a second, and so that's the basis of all metric lengths. But if you look over here, you can see that the metric unit is much simpler than the standard, right? So a kilometer, 1,000 meters. 1 meter, 100 centimeters. 1 meter, 1,000 millimeters. So you're talking a lot more base 10 units. So with this in mind, I want you to look down here. And again, this is on your paper. You should be following along on your paper and writing everything down that's missing. I want you to circle the ones that you think are bigger. All right, let's look at these. So 105 centimeters is bigger than 1 meter, right? Because a meter is 100 centimeters, so 105 centimeters is larger. 4,400 meters is larger than 4 kilometers because 4 kilometers is equal to 4,000 meters. 12 centimeters is larger than 102 millimeters because their 12 centimeters would be 120 millimeters. And the last one, 1,200 millimeters is bigger than 1 meter because 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. So hopefully you guys did well on that. Now, on your paper, I want you to use this and tell me how many, use this little ruler and tell me how many millimeters there are in 1 centimeter. You should be able to easily count that. So we're looking at that distance. So that's 10 millimeters. So every time 10 millimeters is going to be 1 centimeter. Now, I need you to tell me this blue line below, it's black on your paper. I want you to tell me the length of that line in centimeters and the length of that line in millimeters. So for centimeters, you're going to end up with a decimal. For millimeters, you're going to end up with a whole number. Now, underneath it, there's one last question, and it's asking you to find it to the nearest centimeter. All right, so what this means is you're going to be rounding. Remember the rule, if it's 5 or greater, you round up. If it's 5 or less, you round down. So you're going to be rounding to the centimeter, so that means there's going to be no decimals.